Okay, welcome guys to our Wednesday night shiur at Lashem. Our shiur is sponsored by R.Shalom Yuda ben Leah, who needs our tefillot and our Torah, that he should have a speedy recovery, and his parents should be zocheh. They should merit lachniso bevrito shel Avraham Avinu b'mehera. We are one of the most powerful weeks of Shovavim. Everyone's very excited for our Parashat Bishalach. That's last week. Why? Splitting of the sea, Amalek, Man, the drowning of Paro. Then we get to Yitro. In Yitro, everyone's quiet. What happens in Yitro? We get the Torah. We get the 10 Commandments. We get the Torah and Har Sinai. It is the only time in Jewish history, Rabotai, where the Jews, all, not just Shevet Yehuda, not just one tribe, not 2 tribes, not 3 tribes, all 12 tribes were as if one unit. And how do we know that? The Torah says, Vayihan Yisrael neged ahar. What's Vayihan? And they encamped by the mountain. Now in Hebrew, when you say something plural, you have to say Vayachanu. And they encamped. You know what Vayichan means? And he encamped. There wasn't just one Jew over there. It was 600,000 men from the age of 20 to 60. But yet the Torah teaches, why did it say it in the singular form? Everything in the Torah, every word, every letter that's different is coming to teach us something new. The fact is that this was the first time in Jewish history, and maybe the last time, that the Jewish people were one. It never happened again. And who knows if it ever will happen again. But one thing's for sure. For it to happen again, the same people who were on Har Sinai have to come back again. Because if they did it once, they could do it again. And the craziest thing is, in the parasha, where the Jews get the Torah, and Moshe goes up in the mountain and comes back down on Yom Kippur. And this parasha, who was the parasha named after? Yitro.
Idol worshiper. Priest.
What? Yitro? Forget about a convert. Did you guys know that the first son of Moshe Rabbeinu, when Yitro gave Tzipporah to Moshe, she was the eldest of the 7 daughters, on condition that your first son, you donate him to Avodah Zarah. And they said Yitro was a tzaddik. When Paro said to his 3 advisors, what should I do with the Jews? Yitro was like, don't do anything. Leave them alone. And this is the guy who said to Moshe, give your eldest son to Avodah Zarah, Gershom. That's why Gershom came out not the best of the best. His son, Gershom's son, later on in Jewish history, his name was Yonatan. He was a komer of Avodah Zarah. He was a priest for Avodah Zarah. For money. All for money. He didn't believe in it. For money. Yeah, Moshe Rabbeinu's grandson. The Torah is so ashamed in a way that it was Moshe's grandson, they don't even call him Moshe. They call him Minashe. They change his name, not to shame Moshe. But the nun is very small. So you could read it as if he says Moshe. Because you have to look very closely to see the nun. The Khatam Sofer says, why is the nun inside Moshe's name? Now it's Menashe. To hint that Moshe Rabbeinu is the Gilgul of Noach. Noach also starts with the letter Nun. But not only that, the Mefarshim say that the Torah, if it wasn't for Yitro, we wouldn't have this whole parasha. A whole paragraph, a whole page in the Torah was added just because of Yitro. Because of this zchut that Yitro had, because of this zchut, we named the whole parasha after him. I think the parasha should be named Moshe. Parashat Moshe. Not one parasha in the Torah is called Moshe. We have Parashat Noach, Hayei Sarah, Balak even we're going to have. No, the Torah is 4/5 of the Torah is the story of Moses. And to name it after his father-in-law when the whole parasha is after Moshe, it's seemingly weird. Who was Yitro? First of all, his name wasn't really Yitro. Rashi said he had 7 names. Yitro was the name he got after he converted. Because after you convert, you have to choose a new name, right? So Yitro, Jethro, that like the restaurant Divo, was the name that he got after he converted. You know what his real name was that everybody called him? Yeter. So what did he add in him? A vav. The vav. From Yeter it became Yitro. Why is it so important, the whole story of Yitro? Because after this parasha, we only see him one more time in the Torah. One more time, and he disappears. Not only does he disappear, his children don't get a nachala, a portion in the land of Israel, because they weren't the tribe. They were in the tribe. But later on, in the book of, I believe, Jeremiah, Yirmiyahu, the Torah says, Hashem says to the prophet Yirmiyahu, it's very important to learn prophets, guys. I'm learning a sefer right now, and I wanted to put this in the Sigulot chat, but I'm saying it to you guys, whoever's listening. In life, Hashem sends you books. Just like on the way, you just bump into them. His book is called Hamaspik Lo'ovdei Hashem, the Guide to Serving God. Who's it written by? The son of the Rambam. The son of the Rambam. His name was Rabbi Avraham. Rabbi Avraham. He was more successful. People don't know this. He was more successful than his father. His father was the doctor of Salahuddin. But his son Avraham was the Nagid. You know what a Nagid is? A Nagid is basically you're like the exilarch. You have the power to punish, to make your own court. Rambam didn't have that power. Like a viceroy, mamash. He was a Nagid of the Jews. Like Yosef HaTzadik in Egypt. So he wrote this book called The Guide to Serving God. It's a Musar book. How to serve Hashem. And as I'm learning the book, I nobody learns this book. And it's crazy because it blows up the mind. This book blows up your mind. It's one of the most amazing Musar books I ever read in my life. I can't put the book down. It's Musar, usually you have to read 10 minutes a day. But this book I can't put down. It's so amazing. I bought the Hebrew version, and I bought the English version. Just to read it and read the English together. That's how good it is. And he writes over there, and I think that whoever learns this book, Hamaspik Lo'ovdei Hashem, is going to see a lot of Hatzlacha in his life. Because just like a person who visits a grave of a tzaddik that nobody ever visits, that tzaddik works for him over time, so too when you learn a book that nobody learns, that tzaddik works for you over time. And I think if you want a sigula, this is a sigula. To learn a sefer that nobody learns. That's what they say. You want to get a lot of mitzvot, learn Torah at night. Why? Everyone's sleeping. So when you're learning Torah, you're not just getting schar for your own Torah. You're getting for his Torah and his Torah and his Torah. You're getting sachar for everyone who could have learned and isn't learning. And that's besides the fact that the Ari HaKadosh says, when a person learns Torah, he's affecting the other souls in his neshama. So let's say somebody from your shorsh neshama, in the 2 o'clock in the morning, he's awake. What is he doing? 2 o'clock in the morning. He's in a Talmid Chacham. Either he's in a club, or either he's on the computer, or either he's watching TV. Averot. By you learning Torah at 2 o'clock at night, or 12 o'clock, whatever the time is when everyone's sleeping, and this guy is awake doing shtet from your own neshama, you're going to cause him not to do Averot. You're going to change him. And you know why sometimes in your life you suddenly walk and suddenly you feel like you have a nefilah. You feel like you don't want to do mitzvot. You don't want to do Torah. You feel, it comes from nowhere. You just have this heavy feeling. You know where that comes from? Somebody else in your shorsh neshama is doing such a big Averah right now. He's sending a ripple effect to you. That's what it means. The pasuk, Kol Yisrael Arevim Zeh Lazeh. Every Jew is the other Jew's guarantor. So if you want a sigula to change your life, and I'm telling you this works, learn a book that nobody else learns. When I went to Israel with my father this past couple of months ago, we were in Israel for my son's chalakeh. I specifically chose to go to the graves of the tzaddikim nobody ever goes. You know who I went to? Rabbi Yehuda Nasi. You know what the Gemara says? If you want to know who's Mashiach, if he's alive right now, it's Rabbi Yehuda Nasi. If he's somebody who was in the past, it's Daniel HaNavi. The Gemara says that. Could you imagine going inside the grave of Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi? It was overwhelming. And that's where the tefillot are mitkablot, where nobody goes. That's where the tefillot are mitkablot. And the learning of the Sfarim, like this book, Amaspik of Hashem, that's where it's mitkabel. So this Sefer, Amaspik, brings an example. He says when Hashem was giving rebuke to the Jewish people, he says to them, go look at the sons of Yitro. Before he was gonna, his descendants. Before Hashem destroyed the Beit HaMikdash, he gave them warnings. Before R.Shalom, he sent Nebuchadnezzar, he destroyed the Beit HaMikdash, the Jerusalem was filled with blood. So he said, go look at the sons of Yitro. Do you know how far they went, these guys? You know how far they went? They became the head of the 71 court of Jewish people. Rosh HaSanhedrin. Sons of Yitro, this was a komer. You know what a komer is? So Oved Avodah Zarah. Do you know why? You know what the Navi said? Because before their father passed away, before Yitro passed away, he gave tzava'ah, a will to his kids. You know what the will said? Not this one's gonna get my estate in Bet Shemesh, and this one's gonna get my estate in Istanbul, and this one. You know what the will said? Nobody gets anything. But this is my will. If you want to be considered my children, don't ever drink wine. Don't drink alcohol. Don't smoke. You have to be away from all worldly pleasures. When you eat a little bit what you need to eat. If you follow these things, you're going to get to the highest. You're going to beat the Jews. That's what it says in the Sefer. That's what it says in the book. Could you imagine? The sons of Yitro did that. Do you know who is the one who killed Sisera? This past week we read in the Haftarah with Devorah. With Yael. You know who Yael was? She was the Kelin of Yitro's children. Yitro's children, their wife was Yael. Yitro. Why? Because they separated themselves. They understood that we're gerim, we're a low level. So we have to try harder to be better. We have to try harder to be better. And that's why the parasha is named after Yitro. You know who Yitro was? He was the reincarnation of Cain. The Mefarshim give a siman. You know what the siman is? What did Yitro hear that he came to the Jews in the desert? He left his throne, his money, his estate, his bank account, and he came to convert. What was the two things he heard? Did he hear about the 10 makot? He did hear about it, but it was
splitting of the sea.
Splitting of the sea. How do you say that in Hebrew? Kriyat Yamsu. What's the first letter of Kriyat? Kuf. And what was the second thing? Amalek. What's the last letter of Amalek? Kuf. Which one of the two brothers was the killer? Cain. What was the first letter of his name? Kuf. He heard these two things specifically. And he came to run to convert. The 10 makot didn't interest him. The Jews leaving Egypt didn't interest him. The man didn't interest him. Ananei Kavod didn't interest him. You might say it's two opposite things. Like, what was the whole point of Amalek? They saw the Jewish people. They're coming out, b'gvura. And they came, basically, they shut. That's something to not want to convert. But he heard that, he came to convert. Because it's Cain's job to destroy Amalek. Moshe Rabbeinu was who? Hevel. How do we know he was his brother? Yitro sends a messenger to Avraham, to Moshe. And he tells him, Ani chotencha Yitro. I am your father-in-law, Yitro. First three letters of Ani chotencha Yitro is what? Achi, I'm your brother. Now that I'm coming to convert, now I got the neshama of Cain inside of me. Oh, I'm Cain. That's why he had to give him his daughter. Who is his daughter? Tzipporah. Because why did he kill him in the last Gilgul? Because of the extra twin sister. Who was that extra twin sister? Tzipporah. Who was the other twin sister? Batia, the one who raised Moshe. You understand how everything works with a connection? And Yitro comes, and what does he add to the Torah? What does he add? What laws? Laws between a man and his friend. What are they called? Dinim. What's dinim? Judgments. I stole something. How much do I pay back? There is a difference. If I'm a ganav or a gazlan, person kills somebody, R.Shalom, how much? What does he owe? If somebody's ox gores another ox, how much does he owe? Yitro comes and tells Moshe, hello, you can't do everything by yourself. You need helpers. As a rabbi of a community, he can't do everything himself. He needs a guy to be in charge, one guy to put the money down, one guy to do the videos, one guy to do the clean the tables. We all have to help out. You can't do everything by yourself. Moshe wants to do everything by himself. Why specifically did Yitro add those mitzvot? Because before Cain killed Hevel, you know what he told Hashem? Hashem said, don't do it. You know what he told him? Let din ve'let dayan. There is no judge and there is no judgment. So now he comes to fix that. And what does he tell Hashem? There is a judge and there is judgment. And this is all before the Torah was given.
So he fixed it?
He fixed that. He fixed that. And that's when his name changed from Yeter to what? Yitro. What is that Vav? What did God give to Cain? What did the Torah say? God gave Cain what? A sign. You know what that sign is? The letter Vav. So he went from Yeter to Yitro. He fixed Cain. You know what it is to fix Cain? As a goy. A goy. Not any regular goy. The worst of the worst. And why did he... You know, the Torah is so beautiful. What's the first two words of this parasha? Vayishma Yitro. Yitro didn't want to look at it in the television. He didn't say seeing is believing. That's amazing, guys. Some people say, we want to see. I do a mitzvah, I want to see the reward. Yitro said, I don't want to see the reward. It's enough that I know, that I heard that such a thing is possible. I'm coming to see it for myself. I'm coming to see if it's true. He came. Vayishma Yitro. Yitro heard. What do we say every morning and every night? Shema Yisrael. What is the halacha is? Hilchot Talmud Torah of the Rambam. Hilchot Talmud Torah. What is the first thing you teach your son when he starts to speak? Shema Yisrael. Vayishma Yitro. What did the Jews say? What did the 12 brothers say to Yaakov Avinu right before he died? Shema Yisrael. So therefore, what did Yitro have to do? Vayishma Yitro. Because he wasn't with the brothers, he was a ger. So he had to say Vayishma Yitro, and Yitro heard. Guys, there is only one way in life to be successful. You have to listen. If Yitro could do it, so can we. Yitro obligates us. He obligates us. What does that mean you have to hear? I'm going to tell you guys a story. A story shemiza'azeh et aguf. You know what miza'azeh is? That shakes the body. There was a Talmid Chacham, a certain very religious Jew, kollel guy. You know, as a father, it's very hard for you to take out your kids. As a father. Why? You're tired. You come home. You don't want to, you feel like it's a waste of time. What are they going to do? They're going to run around? Okay. Why do I have to take them out? But this father, chok velo ya'avor, how you say? It's a law that can never be broken. Every Sunday, he used to take his kids out for a couple hours. You know Rav Elyashiv, the great Rav Elyashiv. Every Shabbat, he used to take his kids out for a walk. Rav Elyashiv. So this Talmid Chacham would take his kids out to the park. And as they were in the park, if he wanted to talk to them about something, as they're playing and running, he would sit them down on the bench and talk to the kids. It was a very religious community. I don't know if you guys been in Israel in the very religious new communities. Like, if it's a religious community, and you come inside over there, even dressing differently, you already get everybody's attention. If you go to Williamsburg, you get that feeling. Or, deep inside Borough Park. If you look different, they'll look at you like you're weird. Because you don't fit in, obviously. It's not something against you, you just don't fit in. So into the park, into this religious community, this park, where all the little kids are playing, comes inside a kid with long hair, with a cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, piercings in his ear. He had a tattoo of the Satan on his hands. And this boy grew up in the community, but he left the way of the Torah. And this Talmid Chacham was sitting on the bench playing with his kids. And as this boy walks inside, he was known as, the banzit of the community. He would come, he would throw rocks at the windows, make their life miserable. He comes inside and everybody's like, oh my God, what is this kid going to do again? He sits on the bench next to this Talmid Chacham. He looks at him, how he's playing with his kids. He starts to cry! But not just any crying. I've seen people cry, like for real, out of the heart. You can't suppress the voice. You can't hold it in. It just starts to bellow out this deep, profound cry from the neshama. A deep, profound cry. Like it says, Vayitza'ak Yisrael. And he's crying, can't stop crying. It's so weird seeing this guy with tattoos and piercings, tattoo of the Satan, long hair, crying. This doesn't match. So this Talmid Chacham didn't know what to do. He gets up from his bench, he goes to the boy, he puts his hand around his shoulders, and he's like, is there something that's wrong? Maybe something I could help you with? And the boy looks at him and he says, such an amazing, every parent should take this sentence and kotvem aluach libecha. He said, if my father would have taken me out once a week to the park when I was a kid, if my father would have put once in his life his hand over my shoulders, I wouldn't be who I am today. If my father would have listened to me, I would be also running around like your children. And he was crying. The story speaks for itself. Vayishma Yitro. Yitro opened up his ears. There is another very scary story with Rav Elyashiv's grandfather, the Baal HaLeshem, the Leshem Shova Achlama. He was a big saintly Kabbalist. When his time in Yerushalayim, there was one Talmid Chacham, he was a psychologist. So because of that, he subscribed to Freud's theories. Freud has a couple of theories. Anybody who's been to college knows. It's like Psych 101. Basically, it's a theory that every boy wants to kill his father and every daughter wants to kill her mother. Why? Because it's like the Oedipus complex. Lo aleinu. A very weird theory. And so this Talmid Chacham, he was a psychologist too. So he used to, that was what's popular in his time. He used to preach this theory, but he was a Talmid Chacham. He used to give a shiur every Shabbat night. So there was a couple of, and all the rabbis put a cherem on him. Like nobody from yeshiva could go to this guy's shiurim. He's teaching kofrut. He's teaching stuff that are against the Torah. Oedipus complex. Freud was Jewish, unfortunately. So there was a couple of boys from the shiur that were smart. What did they say? We're going to go to the shiur, like Rabbi Meir Baal HaNes. He ate the inside of the fruit and he threw out the peel. We'll do the same. We'll listen to the good stuff, and the bad stuff will
filter out.
Yeah, filter out. So on the way to it was Friday night. The Rosh Yeshiva doesn't, Shabbat. They were going to the shiur in the middle of the night in Jerusalem, all excited to hear the lecture. They come inside, and before they went inside, this guy's shul was right next to the Baal HaLeshem's house, the Leshem Shova Achlama, which I just told you, the grandfather of Elyashiv, the saintly Kabbalist. They go inside his house to tell him good Shabbos. Have a good Shabbos. They go inside, the Mikubal invited them in. He was a very nice person. He said, where are you guys going? We're going to see this next door to you. The speaker, the psychologist. He said, are you guys crazy? He said, till today they made many bars of soap, but a bar of soap that could clean the soul they never made. Don't go inside his lecture. It's a very profound message what he said. I see this a lot. and I've spoken to other rabbis, they see it a lot too. The things that you hear has a very profound effect on your soul. If you think you're going to go to let's say a comedy club, where all the words over there are filthy and dirty and disgusting, and you're going to think you're going to pray Aravit after that, like nothing happened, you have another thing coming for you. It's impossible. I just heard it. Vayishma Yitro. Yitro also just heard. What did he hear? Kriyat Yamsuf and Amalek. What kind of profound effect that had on him? It caused him to convert. You think you're going to go to a comedy club and hear dirty jokes, you're going to come out of there normal? Till today, it didn't make a soul that could clean the soul. And not everybody could hear, by the way. Some people, they have an issue. They have a spiritual block in their ear. A spiritual blockage. Once, R.Shalom in Auerbach, when he was a young boy, he went to the yeshiva called Etzachaim. Rav Isra Zalman Meltzer. He was in the yeshiva, and by the bus stop over there, there was a police station. On the top of the police station, there were two big lions. So the rabbi, as a joke, told the kids, if you take a violin and some drums and you play by the two lions, Yisrael said, you're going to start to dance. So the boys, 7, 8 years old, they took it literally. So when the rabbi went home, he dropped them off home. They all went home. Each one took a drum. This one took the doire. This one took this. They went in front of the lions and they started to play. But the lions just didn't dance. They didn't dance. So they went back the next morning to the yeshiva and they're like, Rebbe, you lied to us. We were playing all night and things didn't dance. He's like, you don't understand. You played the music, but the lions don't hear. They don't hear. You could come to a shiur Torah and hear a very inspirational speech, but your ears just don't hear. You have a block. You'll never change. If you don't take upon yourself, Vayishma Yitro, and Yitro heard, you're never going to change. To change, you have to hear. One last thing I want to say. Every morning we start our day with tefillah, with prayers, right? We pray every morning. We start Modeh Ani Lefanecha, Berchot HaShachar, then we do Tefillin, Tzitzit, Korbanot, Pesukei Dezimra, Yotzer Or, Berchot Kriyat Shema Shema, Shmona Yisrael, then we go work back down. Tachanun, Ashrei, Beit Yaakov, V'chule, we go all the way down, till Aleinu L'Shabeach. Such a profound work, by the way. Who came up with this tefillah is amazing. Did you ever think about that? So there was this teacher, a very, very old teacher, teacher with a lot of experience. It's a very interesting thing to meet teachers with a lot of experience. They have a life, they have like files of stories, just experience after experience, meeting all these kinds of people in life. So this teacher, he once went inside his class, and first thing in class, 6, 7-year-old kids, what does the Rebbe tell them? Open your books, it's time to pray. That specific morning was a cloudy morning. The kids woke up on the wrong side of the bed. None of them wanted to daven. Each one, we gotta pray again. The same words. So the teacher wanted to teach them a lesson. So okay, guys, we're not starting the day with prayers anymore. Today we're gonna start with math. No prayers, straight to math. So they all started to take out their notebooks. And at the end of the room, one boy started to cry. He says, why are you crying? He says, how can I start my day doing math if I haven't said thank you to God yet? He started to cry. The boy started to cry, like a 6, 7-year-old. And he said to all the kids, this boy over here just saved all you guys' life. And the teacher said, do you know why the boys, the kids, and I say this even for adults, do you know why you guys don't want to pray? You don't have a Yishma Yitro. You don't know what you're saying. When you don't know what you're saying, the prayer has no effect on you. But if you learn what you're saying, you won't be able to start your day without it. And not only that, you'll have to stop in the middle of the day to do it, and you'll have to end your day with it. Why does the Torah say, Ubeshochbecha, uvkumecha? Start off your day with it, and you got to end your day with it. It's not a commandment. God doesn't need your Shema Yisrael. God knows that He's one. God knows that He's everything. You know, He wants you to know that, so you can have an effect on your life. Because the number one mistake, like a couple, they have a shalom bite problem, so they go to the rabbi. The rabbi says, the husband, you have to listen to your wife. She's talking to you. You're not listening. So he says, you know what? I'm going to listen. I take upon myself to listen. He goes home. She starts to blah, 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 blah. And he said, Still shalom bite doesn't work. So they go back to the rabbi. The rabbi said to the husband, you weren't listening. You were hearing. There's a difference. Let's change our perception of our life. Let's not hear our friends. Let's not hear Hashem's message. Let's listen. If listening could turn a pope into a Jew, imagine what it could do to a Jew. Baruch Adonai le'olam. Amen ve'amen.